I think this is the best Sony NP-F battery money can buy at the moment. This is the SmallRigNP-F970 USB-C. This builds upon SmallRig's already great foundation when it comes to batteries for video and for photography gear. This is the perfect battery if you've already got a Sony NP-F accessory like a monitor or a light, and you want something small and easy to use to power your whole setup. Let's quickly go over the specs of this battery. It is a NP-F970 spec battery, so that's 76 watt hours. It's got a USB-C port for input and output up to 36 watts, and it's got a USB-A output that is capable of up to 27 watts out. Overall max, the battery can output 76 watts. So that's any combination of those three, as long as you're not exceeding its maximum limit. This makes it a perfect contender for powering your whole setup, especially if you don't want to go down the route of a V-mount or some other type of bigger battery setup. And it's got a screen on it, which is awesome. It takes out the guessing work of finding out how much the battery percentage is on. Just with one tap of the capacitor button, it shows the percentage as well as the charging status. Now this battery will power anything NP-F perfectly fine, but I think the star of the show is that USB-C port. It allows you to charge anything pretty much, so you can top up your camera while this is attached to the monitor so that you're never running out of juice. Or in a pinch, you can use it as just a big battery bank, so you can charge up your camera batteries, flash batteries. You can even power a laptop with this, like a 16-inch MacBook. It's going to be a little over 2.5 hours to top up. Not fast per se, but definitely would work in a pinch. Now, speaking of the USB-C port, you can also use that to charge up the battery as well as your regular NP-F chargers. But with that USB-C port, you're charging in a little under 2.5 hours with a very good charge curve. It's very linear, so it's nice and quick. It's about 8% per 10 minutes, all the way up until the top of the curve where it tapers out a little bit. But very fast to charge, don't have to worry about it. And with the convenient little screen, you can check the percentage at any period of time. In terms of battery drain with this, I didn't find any voltage drops or anything that could be of concern. SmallRig has got a good track record with all the smarts that they put in their batteries, like overcurrent protection and undercurrent protection and all those smarts that you want in a battery that's powering your very expensive and precious devices. And to prove that, I've got a little discharge curve, extremely linear, no drops in voltage. It was powering consistently and full the whole time. And given the battery output I told you earlier of 76 watt, you should be able to figure out how long this battery is going to last given your power requirements. But as an example, that drain test I did was on a 25 watt light, and that took about 4 hours to fully drain. So there's a lot of power in these batteries. Now for me personally, I'm all about convenience. So this screen is really awesome for quickly checking the percentage. You can also see if it's charging with a little lightning symbol. And it's also, according to the manual, got some anomaly charges. So if the USB-C port stops working or the USB-A port stops working, it gives you a little warning on the screen. Now, personally, I didn't run into this, but it's nice to know that like when you're in a pinch and you're trying to get something to work, you can see that it's the battery's fault and not like your cable or your other device's fault. Now, while I really appreciate the convenience and ease of use of the screen on there to tell you state of charge, I really wish that it would tell you some more things about the battery, like how many watts is being pulled, if the USB-C connector is actually draining stuff, or if the USB-A connector is actually draining stuff, as opposed to just being a state of charge indicator. And this isn't a limitation on the screen that they've decided to use in there, because I think it's an LCD. I've seen it display the SmallRig logo. It just seems to be the function of the processing power inside the battery, not being able to display out those things. Given it's a capacitive button, I would like to see me tap the screen and then tap again to get into other menus in there, just to display more information. But it's literally just a tap on and let it reset to go off. And speaking of that screen, when you get below 10% and you check your battery, it starts to flash at you, which is really handy in quickly grabbing your attention that, hey, your battery's about to die. Another thing to note as well, these batteries come in 3 different colors. So they come in black, they come in green, or they come in a really vibrant orange. So it's another thing if you're wanting to add a little bit of color to your camera setup, something to note. I think most people will probably spring for the black one, but I do really love this green color as well. And that brings me to the price of these. They're around 70 to 80 US dollars. They're not the most affordable NP-F batteries, but I honestly think with the convenience and the power outputs of all the different ports, being able to see the exact percent on these batteries is a killer feature. I think it's kind of worth the upgrade. I wouldn't skimp out on any batteries that are powering more expensive gear, you know, really expensive monitors or anything like that. Not worth skimping out. Get something with good cells and good protection inside of them. And I've had nothing but good experience with these batteries. And if that isn't enough numbers for your brain, I made a video on the SmallRig battery that sits inside of Sony cameras that's also got a USB-C port. You should check that out if you're interested. Anyway, I'll catch you in the next one.